Hey, Maria, back with another video. It's like 2:20 in the afternoon. So I decided to come back and make a quick video before I had my lunch. And as I was sitting here on the couch, I kept thinking, this seems like a bigger issue than I thought. And the reason why I'm saying that is because I'm starting to think about the issue relating to Joel's family and some of the things that I'm going back and remembering and all the strange behavior that went on. And I really do encourage employers to stay out of the business of family members because I do believe that this situation is bigger than I thought, and I think it's relating a lot to human trafficking. And a lot of people don't realize, when they think of human trafficking, they think of somebody, stuck in a crate and being shipped off to a different location. But oftentimes, human trafficking can actually be done in some of these actual the same location of where a person really is. So there's really no traveling involved, okay? So the traveling aspect of it does occur, but it happens everywhere. It can happen in your neighborhood, it can happen in your town. And I have read articles about how Bakersfield has a high level of human trafficking. And in this case, when people are trying to direct or guide you into a certain action or activity that is against the will of another person. So this, to me, is basically in that category. So when I think about what the general manager did back in 2007, I believe, he needs to understand, number one, that we were under those guidelines about being an equal opportunity employer. Regardless of whether they were stating that or not, he has to adhere to those federal and state guidelines. And he really had no right to get involved, okay? Other than being a reference for a job, such all those damn people are new, okay? I don't have any connection to those people, okay? And maybe he didn't realize exactly what these people are, okay? But obviously these people are very crooked and corrupt, okay? And I don't want anything to do with that. So, what other people are participating in. Like, for example, if this has something to do with me coming into job interviews or whatever, or them modifying my ability to pursue my goals or whatever for the purpose of something related to that, then they are too guilty of human trafficking. I suggest you Google human trafficking. It's got a very broad definition because there's different ways of doing it. And oftentimes, it does have a lot to do with employment, okay? Because there's a lot of people out there that don't know what the hell they're doing, and they think that they're doing a favor or they're doing the right thing because it's relating to your family. I encourage employers to stay out of family issues, okay? Because you never know what these people really are. And in this case, there's a lot of talk about Christianity, and, a lot of times when people think in their mind, oh, Christian, that means they're good people. Well, they're not good people, okay? And it's the oldest trick in the book, how people fall for this whole religious facade, thinking that, they're doing the right thing and they're supporting it. But you also have to remember that excuse and that way of deceiving people have been in place and used for many times during many wars, during many conflicts, not just wars, but I'm talking about just everyday type conflicts or sort of political, I guess, on the political arena. So you have to be very careful about that sort of stuff, okay? I think that people thought maybe I was guilty by association because I was with Joel. I had nothing to do with that weird shit, okay? And I can assure you I never would. I do remember back in 2012, I'd wake up in the middle of the night, and I had these really weird feelings about his mother. Like disgusting feelings about his mother that made me want to take something hard, something really big, and just bash her face in. Like, just want to kill her. I wanted her dead. Like, I felt like something weird and perverted and twisted was about that woman. But then I kept thinking, okay, that's just because I'm waking up in the middle of the night, thinking, okay, that's just my imagination, running weird in weird directions. But I don't think so, okay? Now I'm starting to understand that this family is very twisted, okay? And I'm not trying to constantly bring up the subject, but the more that keeps filtering in, So, employers really need, these guidelines are there for a reason, okay? Because many times, a lot of women are in families, get married into families that are crazy. And anytime a man tries to subjugate a woman in any way, shape, or form, you need to be suspicious of that. Okay? You have to be able to, first of all, your responsibility is to protect the company at all times. You never want to do anything that's going to tarnish the company's image. And second of all, you don't want to participate in something that's illegal and immoral. Okay? In this situation, I believe that it is. Okay? I now understand a little bit more about what that family's all about, okay? And they do have a lot of power and they have a lot of control only because they use this whole Christian bullshit. But these people, now I hope people are waking up. They're no more Christian than I don't know, what do you want to call it? I don't know. They're not anything, they're no different than any other Christian scandal that's been going on in the last few decades, okay? And this is a huge scandal, okay? A huge one. So, back to the general manager, I don't know, just because, I lied to my husband doesn't give him the right to dictate what I do, okay? And until you know the full story about what goes on in a family, and even if you do, regardless, it's not your place, okay? It's not your place. It's not a husband's place to direct the step of a woman that leaves the house, and especially for good reason. Like I said, basically, don't just because you're a man think that you're going to automatically take a man's side, because that's a big mistake. You know what I mean? And a lot of people think, well, you're just like maybe a liberated woman, or you're trying to shake up the social order. No, I'm not. I try to dodge bullshit when I see it. Okay? And obviously he was being an asshole back then, and I had every right to. Okay? And just because I told a little bit of fib to my husband doesn't mean that I wasn't good to him, because I was, okay? He is just somebody who's very sick, twisted, and deranged, okay? They keep that shit in the family, if you know what I mean, okay? They're all obsessed to it. I get it now. I don't have anything to do with that bullshit, and nor will I ever, okay? I made a mistake by marrying him and realized, just how screwed up that is. And it's funny because now I think about it, there's so many signs that he was a mind-controlled person, because I remember him talking about an aunt that he had and an older boy who lived in that house with this older aunt, and he was talking about how, he was basically used for sex or whatever like that, but he never sees himself that way. That's strange, okay? But that just goes to show you the mind control, okay? It's very strange, and sometimes I'm sitting here, I'm at home, and I'm starting to think about weird shit, and it makes me cringe, okay? I'm not interested in that sort of stuff. That sort of stuff is weird to me, okay? And for the people in the community who foolishly supported that out of ignorance, you need to start looking into social issues, because oftentimes what you guys do and what you follow, what you believe, is wrong, okay? It's dead wrong, okay? I don't have anything to do with that family. I barely know these people. And I'm glad, okay? Because I find them to be unfit to even exist. That's how I feel about this. But still, I'm moving on, and I don't want to think about them again, don't want to hear about them anymore, don't want to even conjure them up in my mind in the slightest, okay? It's not something I do on purpose, it's just something that happens. So anyway, I'm going to upload this video really quick. I think my food's almost done. It smells good. I better take it out because I don't like beef that gets overdone. I like it kind of, medium rare. And anyway, I wanted to express that, because human trafficking is a big deal, okay? It's huge. I believe they say there's probably like 4 million or anywhere from 40 million cases of human trafficking, okay? That's huge, okay? And it's basically the result of ignorance of stupid people who don't understand exactly what it is, because they're thinking it only applies to people who are being shipped off in boxes, or, being shipped off in boxes or something along those lines. No, it doesn't. Anytime you lead, direct, or guide somebody with the intent and purpose for something that's related to something like that, that falls under this guideline. So be careful with your actions, okay? Educate yourself and get a little bit more knowledge. I'm going to wrap this video up. I'll be back with it a little later.